In the previous two videos, I've already covered some of the important elements of Outlook. I just wanted to add some extra features, some minor elements, but some important ones that you need to know about it. The first thing is when I'm writing a new email and I'm trying to send it to somebody, and whatever the subject. And in the options, I have an option to request a delivery receipt. That means when the server gets the message, I'll get a delivery email back. I can also request a read receipt. That is when the John gets an email, he'll most probably get a prompt asking him that I've requested a receipt back. Does he want to allow this? So if he says yes to it, I'll get a reply saying that he's read my message. So that is those options. You may have seen it sometimes in your emails if somebody's done that to you. You can also, if for example, sometimes you might set an email to a whole bunch of people, but you don't want the reply to come to you. So in that case, in the options, there's this button here called Direct Replies To. You click it, and in here, you change to the person's email address. Or you can click on Select, and then you can choose the, not that one. You can choose a person that you would like the replies to be sent to. So when the people hit the reply button, it will not have your email address in it. It will have Mary's email address so that it will go to her. Okay, so that's the nice little options that is set up here. I can also set a delayed delivery. That is, for some reason, this is a time-sensitive email. So you can say that don't send the email until Monday morning. For some reason, you're working at Friday late, you don't want it to go in before Monday 10 o'clock, so it will sit in your outbox. So on the left hand side, you see there is an outbox folder here. Outbox is when you don't have an internet email or something happen, it will just sit there waiting for the internet connection so that it will go out when you hit the send and receive button. So again, that's a good option for delay delivery if you wanted to do that. Another option which is very useful, and this is also an exam question, all of these are exam question, there is this voting option. So I could put a question here and I can tell them, so say the question was, are you okay with dinner party on April 1? So this is maybe a question, someone's going over a dinner party or whatever, and you want to get feedback from everybody, and then I can set a yes or a no button in it. So that means they will get an email saying, do you want to accept or reject? Are you free or not? So you'll come to know that how many people will be there at the dinner party, and or it could be any question, and then if you set the replies to Mary, then Mary will get that message. But in here you can also go to custom, because in the yes and no, actually I can start putting something else. So say for example, I wanted to ask them what date works for them, so I can choose here April 1 colon April 2 colon April 5. So I'm giving them different options so that they can choose from. So they'll get these three drop down options to choose from. So this is the way the voting options are done. So you usually get this type of a question in an exam where they want you to set up the voting options, so that this is set up. When I send it, they'll get that email, and then they'll have to accept one of the options to choose which day works for them. So this is a really good way to use the features to save time and headache. And under the review tab, you have options to do your spelling check, thesaurus, and they also have some basic translate languages that you can change a few of them. In the format text option, you can change all the text. So in the format text, you can always highlight things, and you can change the size of the fonts, whatever else you wanted to do. So these can be some basic answers that they can questions they can ask. So I'll just say no to saving it. Okay. Next we'll talk about something about the moving folders and also rules and some quick steps options. So if I wanted to organize my inbox, I can move the messages to one of these folders. I can even drag it. If I wanted, I can just drag it and drop it on those folders as I wanted it. If you wanted to create new folders, if you go to the folder tab on the top, and then you can click on new, and then you can give it a name. So I can say I'll give it my name, and then I can choose whether I want it part of inbox or do I want it in line with the test so that the folder will come up here somewhere rather than within inbox. So if I click OK, so now we see the folder is there, and I can even drag it high or low wherever I wanted it. So you can rearrange this, and you can also drag some. If you had lots of folders, you can drag some of them into your favorite folder section right here on the top. So if you had lots of emails that you were using Outlook to check, you can do this. So that's the new folder option, and then you can drag it. And even in the home, when you go to move, you go to other folder, you'll get the same window here, and you can use this to create a new folder, and I can give it the same name, Amir, but put it under the folder inbox. So there it is, and you can move it around. So very handy, and you can just drag the emails and move it, or right click. Always remember, right click in the exams too. Right click works, so you can choose to print it, you can choose to move it to whatever folder you want. You can also do follow-ups, and you can also delete it, or you can double click on a message and you'll be able to print it from the file button, and there's the print option. Next thing I want to talk about is the rules button. The rules are very useful to create, because say you wanted to take some email that was coming from your boss or from a colleague, and you wanted to automatically put in a folder. So I can say that, I want to create a rule, and I can say if it's coming from Amir, I want it to be done something to it. So you can set those type of a rule. I can say move it to the folder, and I can say move it to the folder Amir, and I click OK, and I click OK. And there's a lot of different settings you can use. You can say if the subject contains something, move it to somewhere else, or they say play a sound or something, or I can move it to some other folder, and I click OK. The rule has been created. Do you want to run this rule now? So if I click that and I click OK, it will move all of those messages in that folder. So if I click on Amir, so the messages have been moved in here because it acted on my folder. So that's a very handy thing. And you can also create all kind of rules. So if I go to rules, manage rules and alerts, you can also create rules from here. I can click on new rule, and this will give me more options to manage. So just to show it to you again, I clicked on rules, manage rules, rather than going to create, manage rules and alerts. I click on new, and now I can say move messages from someone, move with a specific word. So you just click on next, 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 and keep on answering the questions. And then you can choose what specific words, and then you go on to the next step, and it will ask you to put the specific word in there. So rules, and you'll get some exam questions of it in some places, and you can click on any of the rules and you can run the rule anytime you wanted it. You can always delete it. So those are the rules options. Again, it helps you to get your jobs done faster and automatically get things done rather than doing things manually. The quick steps is very useful because you can create your own buttons. So for example, I was emailing my manager a lot. I can click on the to manager button, and I can put the person's email address here and save it, so that every time I click on to manager, it automatically has that in there. So it's already set there. I can also use the team email, so then I can put it as one of the test accounts, so that whenever I click on team email, it will automatically have them in the TO section. So this is very useful. And you can also choose the reply and delete. That means I want to reply, and as soon as I hit the reply and send it, delete that original message. And you can go to the quick steps more option. These symbols stand for more, and you can add your own here, other quick steps in here. You can create duplicates and then put something else to it. So the quick steps are also very useful. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is about templates. So sometimes you want to have a message created with a certain words that you want to use all the time. So you can create a new email and you don't know who you're going to send to, but say you're going to have a mess title, so appointment notice, and then here you type your message. And you can put things like you are appointed to whatever, so it could be a lot of things, and then you just leave some words where you're going to type the person's name in there. Now once you have this, you want to save it as a template, so I click on File, Save As, and there is a name there, so you can give it a meaningful name. And from the drop down button for Save As Type, I'm going to choose Outlook Template, and it will save it as a template, so that next time I can open this template, so I don't have to have all the words there. I just have to put the person's email address and maybe the names if they need to be changed in the message. And I'll close this, and I don't need to save this. I'll say no to it. And when I want to write a message using that template, I go to New Items, More Items, and then I click Choose From, and I'll say I want to choose Look In, Use Templates in File System, and there is my appointment notice, and I can open it or double click on it, and there it is. So then I can just continue on. So this will also help me to make it a little easy. I don't know why the signatures came up twice, but you can always delete them. You can do that. So again, another way to get your jobs done faster by creating templates. And I just remember two minor things about contacts. So say I got an email from somebody, I can right click on it and I can add it to Outlook contacts, so I don't have to do anything. It will be added very easily. And if you had contact list in your email or in your Gmail or Hotmail, and you wanted to incorporate it in your Outlook, you can import it. So when you go to Gmail in your contacts or your Hotmail, you'll be able to export your contact list. And from Outlook, you go to File, Open and Export, and then choose the Import Export option, and then you tell it that I want to import from another file. You click Next, and then it usually will save your contacts files in a comma separated value CSV format. Click Next. Now browse to where you saved that file in your computer, and then just open it, and it will allow you to add your contacts to your Outlook very quickly. And you can choose whether you want to create duplicates if you already had contacts. So I hope in this 3 video you got a really good sense of Outlook 2013, and also if you know all these things, you can easily pass the test. And I'll see if needed, I'll make a separate video just talking about exam questions. Thanks for watching.